Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another Marvel Rivals video, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down my top 10 DLC wishlist for characters I want to see in Marvel Rivals. Now I won't be talking about any of the leaked characters such as Mr. Fantastic or Ultron or any of those guys, so this is going to be 10 characters even outside of the leaked characters. I have 3 strategists, 3 duelists, and 3 tanks or vanguards, and I have one that I'm not 100% sure where I should place. With that being said, if you guys like content like this, make sure to drop a like and leave down below in the comments what you guys want to see in Marvel Rivals, what characters, what abilities, what maps, stuff like that, and I will make a future video based off of those. With that being said, make sure to subscribe if you guys are new and help me reach 25,000 subscribers, and let's get on with it. Alright, let's begin with the duelist characters, firstly being Ghost Rider. I would love to see Ghost Rider, and I know a ton of you guys do too, because Ghost Rider is one of the most badass characters in Marvel. In my opinion, he's one of the most iconic Marvel characters too. And honestly, I don't care which version they go with, but I want to see this guy using his chain to do some insane melee damage. I mean, being a duelist, he's gonna need a lot of damage. He's a DPS character. I think he could even use his motorcycle to ride around, or that could be his ultimate, is being able to ride around on a motorcycle and deal damage running people over. Or his ultimate could be like the Penance Stare and do something like Winter Soldier, where you attack a character and deal a ton of damage, either killing them or like literally bringing them to 1 HP, so that way one of your allies could full kill them, and then if you land that, then you can do it to another character and another character, but it's only repeatable if you actually land the character. So with that being said, I think Ghost Rider is definitely coming to the game, and he's one of the main characters I want in Marvel Rivals. The second duelist I have on this list is Daredevil. I've been reading a ton of Daredevil comic books, and I'm really loving this character and the conflict that he has, and I want to see him in Marvel Rivals for that reason. He would definitely use his batons, I can't think of the specific name, but just whipping characters like crazy, or maybe even trapping them in them. His acrobatics would give him a lot of movement, which I think a lot of characters in this game actually need. I think it's kind of slow right now, and Daredevil would just be zooming, flipping, doing crazy acrobatics, which would be really cool. And he could even have like an ultimate where you go into like this sonar vision and you can see people through walls, kind of like Widowmaker in Overwatch, which I think would be a great ability for not only you, but if your allies could also see opponents through walls, that would be super sick too. Honestly, Daredevil, I think he's another one of those fan favorite characters that Marvel Rivals just has no chance but to add eventually. The third duelist I have on this list is Cyclops. After X-Men 97, Cyclops has like officially, you know, solidified him as the leader of the X-Men in my mind if Professor Xavier is not here. He is so badass, and I love his ability with the laser eyes and how creative he's been in the comics and in the show with those laser eyes. I think blasting people across the screen with a hit scan laser would be super fun. His ultimate would obviously be like a supercharged laser that just does a ton of damage and just melts opponents. I think this character and a lot of other X-Men characters are definitely coming in the future, but I think Cyclops would be a fantastic first X-Men edition outside of characters like Storm and Magneto, and he's just so badass. I just really hope that they stick to the blue and yellow color scheme with the yellow visor. It's so clean, and it's one of my favorite designs for one of the X-Men. So Cyclops, I'd love to see him in Marvel Rivals. Before I get into the strategist, I want to remind you guys that I'm trying to reach 25,000 subscribers, so if you guys enjoy Marvel Rivals content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as I'm going to be covering a lot of this game because it is super fun. With that being said, our strategist, first up we have Nova. Nova is a character that I think is super underrated. I was actually introduced to Nova as one of the champions for the like secondary Nova character, like the Kid Nova, a lot of people call him, and so I don't care which version they go with, but honestly Nova just has such a cool power base, and he would just fly all over the map. I think he would work best as a strategist, kind of more as somebody who can change up how the characters are reacting to different situations rather than being a healer, you know, kind of like closing off different sections of the map and forcing people to maybe go through a choke point for certain types of like payload maps. So I think Nova, you know, being eyes in the skies would also be a really good counter to characters like Iron Man right now. And honestly, this character just doesn't get enough love in my opinion, and he is literally so freaking cool, and we need more cosmic characters in this game anyway. So Nova is definitely one of my top characters too. The second strategist that I have on this list is one of the biggest fan favorite characters, and that is Nightcrawler, a super underrated X-Men character in my opinion, but super cool. X2 solidified that with the White House scene where he's just like teleporting and cutting people's throats like crazy. It was crazy when that movie came out. But Nightcrawler would be an epic strategist, being able to do a lot of attack damage with those swords and being able to teleport not only allies but also opponents. He could, for example, grab an opponent, teleport them off of the map, kind of like Jeff the Shark does where he eats people and then throws them off the map. He could teleport them off the map into the abyss and then himself teleport back onto the map, killing the opponent. That is some of the gameplay that I would want to see from Nightcrawler, and just being able to get a lot of mobility is really important for a character like a strategist who needs to help their allies as much as they can. So in my opinion, Nightcrawler, definitely one of my top characters I want in Marvel Rivals. The third character that I have in the strategist section is Jubilee. Now I know that's not going to make a ton of sense right away, but trust me guys, Jubilee is a character that deserves more hype. She's so underutilized in not only the comic books, but in like the animated series and the movies especially. Like her powers are really cool. They're like fireworks basically. Like, have you seen what Bakugo can do in My Hero? Like, she could probably reach that level with her firework abilities. It's super cool. I think it'd be really cool as a strategist if she could heal allies using those, or maybe she could even blind opponents with her fireworks. So we don't really have like a flashbang in this game, being like a hero shooter. That's not typically an ability, but it'd be really cool if she could literally flash opponents with her fireworks and they could be blinded not knowing where your allies are at on the map. It would be such a unique ability for this character, and I think that Jubilee just deserves a chance in a big video game like this. Alright, next up we got the Vanguards, and sorry if I changed the lingo, like calling these guys tanks. I'm just used to how hero shooter language typically is spoken. But first off, I got Juggernaut. Juggernaut is so freaking cool. I mean, he is just like one of the big bads in X-Men that everyone remembers from the movies, and he's literally like the Hulk, bro, but I think he could go toe-to-toe with the Hulk in this game. And I think Juggernaut would just absolutely blow through characters. Like, having a character like Juggernaut that is not only really big and probably has a lot of health, but also really good mobility where he could charge opponents, kind of like Reinhardt in Overwatch, would be super cool and kind of scary, honestly. Like, the second he gets his eyes on Iron Fist, dude, immediately across the map and just pounding him into the ground. His ultimate ability would probably be similar to Hulk's, where he just like rages out and can just do a ton of damage with his fists, and I think Juggernaut is just the perfect character for our next tank. Now, as I'm recording this, I'm finding out that The Thing was actually leaked. So this is the only character on this list that is definitely coming, that has been leaked. So The Thing, I think, should be in this game, obviously, as a tank, because he is just another bulky character that could absorb a ton of damage. And it'd be really cool if he could like really use those rocks to an advantage. I don't know if he normally can pull his rocks off. I know that there was a version where like that was like really gross, but it'd be cool if he could pull those rocks off and throw them at people. I don't know if that's part of his extent of his abilities typically, but it'd be really cool if they could make that exception for the game, or if he could do things like, you know, form himself into like a giant boulder and roll at opponents or something like that. Something really fun to mix up his gameplay that makes him different than the Hulk. But I think, you know, Fantastic Four characters are bound to happen in this game anyway with the new movie coming out. The last Vanguard I have on this list is a controversial one, and that is Baymax from Big Hero 6. Now, I understand that Big Hero 6 was a Disney animated movie, but he actually is a Marvel character, and so are all of the other characters. And I think that adding Baymax into this game would actually like blow up the internet a little bit, because he is not only the cutest character ever, he would literally be on par with Jeff the Shark, but when he's in his armor, he can do a lot of cool shit. He can like blast enemies. He's super strong. He would be able to absorb like so much damage with that armor. He can fly around, or he could even carry characters on his back, similar to Groot or the Hulk. This is like the perfect character, in my opinion, to shake up the roster a little bit and be like, look, we're not just doing Marvel characters, we're gonna dig deep into deep Marvel characters. Some that would be from a Marvel manga, which I think would be super cool as a tie-in character. I mean, Stan Lee literally appeared in that movie, and it's under Marvel Publishing, so I think it would be really cool if they want to wait a little bit to make it feel like maybe this is more of like a guest character, even though it's technically not. They could do that, but I think it opens the door for a lot of deep cut Marvel characters. So the last character I have on this list is one that I'm not sure where to place, because he could honestly be a Vanguard, he could be a strategist, or he could be a duelist, depending on how they wanted to design this character. And that would be Howard the Duck. Now, this character is absolutely ridiculous. He's one of those just joking characters, but honestly, I think this is the perfect game for it, because it's so like cartoonish, stylized type of graphics and everything like that. So it kind of fits. I mean, we have a literal baby shark as a character, so Howard the Duck really isn't that outside of this, you know, roster's imagination. But honestly, he could be either of these things. He could be a strategist, you know, giving like armor upgrades, kind of like Torbjorn from Overwatch, and giving, you know, health and shield to allies. Or he could be a duelist, you know, using firearms or different types of cannons or something to attack opponents. Or he could be like a Vanguard tank, like he is in the Contest of Champions mobile app, where they put Howard the Duck in a mech suit, which is actually super ridiculous, but it's actually really cool too. I mean, this is literally and it's like a duck looking mech too. Like, it literally looks like a duck, and it's hilarious. And to me, it's one of like the funniest things in Contest of Champions, and I think it would honestly carry over into this game as well too. And they could even do something similar to like Diva or the Hulk, like they have in this game, where once you defeat his mech suit, then you can play as Howard the Duck by himself and kind of regain that mech suit as your ultimate. There's a lot of options there, but I think Howard the Duck is he's one of my favorite Marvel characters, just because he's so ridiculous. So that is my Marvel Rivals DLC character wish list so far. There's plenty of other characters that I want to talk about, so I might make a part 2, or I might make a most requested DLC characters based on your guys' comments. So leave a comment down below on what characters you'd like to see from Marvel Rivals in the near future that aren't part of the leaked characters, obviously. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, and make sure to subscribe if you guys like Marvel Rivals content. I'll be doing a lot more of it on the channel, because this game is so much fun, and I can tell that they actually want to support this game. Marvel actually does, you know, really support their games when they put the effort into it. If you look at Contest of Champions or Marvel Snap, you know, different games like this, they actually tend to support for quite a while, unless it's Spider-Man 2. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to play Marvel Rivals this weekend, and I might do a stream with subscribers, so if you don't want to miss that, make sure to subscribe. With that being said, have fun as always, be respectful. Thanks for watching.